Coming up on KOTA Territory News at 5:30, this year's Central States Fair kicked off today. We'll take you there. Plus an update on the Sheridan Lake Road construction project. Is an end in sight, and Attorney General Marty Jackley teams up with other attorneys general to support ranchers in a lawsuit. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. The Central States Fair officially began this afternoon, and KOTA Territory's Brad Walton attended the opening ceremony and joins us live from the fair. Brad?
Hey Jack, I'm here live at the Monument Health Community Stage at the Central States Fair. As you can hear behind me, there's a band currently playing, but earlier today, about 2.5 hours ago, we had a pretty special ceremony to kick off the fair. The fair officially began today with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. South Dakota Governor Larry Roden, Pennington County Commissioner Ron Rosnecht, and Rapid City Mayor Jason Solomon each issued proclamations recognizing Central States Fair's storied history. The first fair in Rapid City began in the late 1800s, but the Central States Fair consolidated and began a new era in 1946. One speaker at the opening ceremony has attended the fair since the very beginning.
I used to come here back in 1952, 53 during the days of Casey Tibbs. I'm just so thankful that I can be here for these fine gentlemen and all of you.
Obviously, this is just one of many things we'll be highlighting at the fair this year. I believe Juliana Alford is going to bring us more in a few minutes, but for now, Jack, back to you.
Thank you, Brad. We've got a warm and quiet evening, but storms are on the way. First Alert meteorologist Ryan Hill brings us a first look at that forecast. So what's going on out there, Ryan?
Yeah, not quiet for long. You might be seeing some storm clouds out your door, and we've got them on our sky cam right now. Taking a look at that stormy look outside our doors. This is the Golden West sky cam on Skyline Drive, where we're looking at some pretty severe thunderstorms under a muggy 86 degrees, dew point 64. We have a storm bearing some golf ball size hail entering the hills along US 85. It has made its way into Lawrence County, and it's south of Spearfish, generally going to be south of Spearfish within the next 45 minutes. We've also got another storm that is severe warned entering in Fall River County with some $half size hail near Provo, going to be just east of there within the next 10 minutes. We expect those storms to leave our area. Otherwise, we're staying muggy tonight for the Central States Fair, and a warm day tomorrow. We'll be tracking all of that and more in your full First Alert forecast. Jack, back over to you.
Thank you, Ryan. We're continuing our coverage of the Central States Fair. We'll now take you to KOTA Territory's Juliana Alford, who is live at the fairgrounds to talk more about what's happening. Juliana, how's the turnout looking out there on opening day? Unfortunately, having some audio problems out there at the fair right now. South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley is leading a bipartisan group of 11 AGs to support ranchers in their lawsuit against manufacturers selling foreign beef under Product of USA labels. The ranchers from South Dakota are seeking to have Product of USA labels removed from foreign-grown beef. Jackley is calling the action a consumer issue.
We believe strongly that beef produced here in South Dakota is a premium, that there's extra efforts to make sure it's a good product, it's a healthy product. And when you bring beef from foreign countries into the United States, we lose that health safety, we lose that quality, and those manufacturers should stop labeling foreign beef as a product of the USA.
The attorneys general point out in their brief that the USDA now acknowledges that use of the label on foreign sourced beef conflicts with federal requirements and have asked the courts to have the manufacturers stop labeling their beef as Product of USA. The AGs of Colorado, North Dakota, New Mexico, and Nebraska signed off on the brief. A district court ruled in favor of the ranchers. The case is on appeal in the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. The Sheridan Lake Road reconstruction project is one step closer to completion. completion. Sheridan Lake Road and Corral Drive in Rapid City are expected to be open in its ultimate configuration in time for Rapid City area schools' first day back in session on Tuesday. Crews will continue to work this weekend and Monday to finish the last major concrete pour for the 4th lane on Corral Drive and continue striping of the newly constructed roads. Work will still need to be done for the project to be completed by its anticipated October 3rd finish.
Starting Wednesday, you will most likely have temporary lane closures that will go up after 8:30 and be down again by the next morning. So we're really concerned about that morning traffic flow. The traffic will be free of cones up until 8:30 on school days. After that, expect that there will be continuing to have changing traffic conditions.
Van Beek reminds everyone to continue to be cautious as conditions continue to change. We had quite a storm last night, and today it's been pretty toasty. How's the weekend looking? We'll have the latest in your accurate First Alert forecast coming up later. But first, an Indigenous-led organization dedicated to honoring the victims of the Indian boarding schools reports a huge influx of funds. That and more after the break. Remembering the Children is continuing to grow their memorial through continued grant support. The Indigenous-led organization, which works to honor the children who died while attending the Rapid City Indian boarding school, announced yesterday they received $670,000 in grants from the Mellon Foundation. According to a release from the organization, the latest installment of grant support will go to the completion of construction at the Remembering the Children Memorial site, organizational development, and building community-led programming. The memorial on Canyon Lake Drive sits on the 24-acre site of the boarding school, which was operated from 1898 to 1933. An estimated 50 children died while boarded at the school. In the release, Executive Director Amy Sazu said, quote, "We're deeply grateful to the Mellon Foundation for their continued belief in community vision. Their support affirms that grassroots-led, Indigenous-founded organizations have the strength and wisdom to tell our own stories as we work to build the future of our children deserve. We're excited about the next phase of development at the site." A community art installation is coming to the Children's Home Society's newest Rapid City campus. Community members were invited to the Minaloosahan Senior Center, where they learned how to create origami swans and cranes with written messages of hope. There's a Japanese legend of the 1,000 cranes, which promises anyone who folds 1,000 origami cranes will be granted a wish. In Japanese culture, cranes are a symbol of good fortune and hope. The goal is to have all the origami pieces installed as a message of hope to children living on the Rapid City campus.
I think it's a visual symbol of hope to our kids and to our families that their community cares about them. They care what's happening and they have hope for their future. It gives us a tangible, and every day they could look at that and see, hey, the community is here for you.
The event was put on as a community effort between other organizations such as Sister Cities International and the Journey Museum to add an educational aspect to the art.
So to make connections with the origami cranes and the project that they're doing, we brought an object from our collection. It's a ceremonial samurai helmet that was presented to our Rushmore Rotary Club, or Rapid City Rotary Club, in 1993 from our sister city in Japan.
To find out how you can join the fold, visit our website. We have some storms on the way, and some will be severe. We'll check in with meteorologist Ryan Hill and your accurate First Alert forecast for when they'll be most impactful after the break.
Now, the First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ryan Hill.
Well, we're facing a warm and muggy evening for the first night of the 80th Central States Fairway. We've got a dew point of 64. Generally, when they're in the mid-60s and up, it starts feeling rather muggy out there, 86. And you can see the dark clouds right behind me. We've got a storm moving in, a couple of storms, or three, moving in on our KOTA territory viewing area. You can see we have a severe thunderstorm warning continuing for a cell that's got 1.5 inch or golf ball size hail. That's nothing to fool around with. So it's kind of entering into a less populated area, but there are people out there in some smaller communities along US 85 that might want to move their cars into their garages or carports and protect whatever else that you need to from that large hail. Same goes for this storm that is increasing in intensity. We're just getting a storm that is oh, look at that, 2 inches in diameter and 70-mile-per-hour winds. Thankfully, it's staying just south of KOTA territory, but those of you who might have friends between Provo and Chadron, you might want to be keeping a close eye on that, because this hook right here, this does have a tornado possible tag on it as it moves through just west of Sheridan. Keep an eye on that real closely. We may be seeing some nasty weather just south of KOTA territory, maybe even into Fall River County. Other than that, it's going to be a warm, muggy evening as we talk about mainly lower to mid and even upper 60s along with that high humidity. We may be watching some storms for the Central States Fair. We've got some 80s to start out. Right now we're at 86 degrees, so I think this forecast is looking pretty good, and especially watching those storms, we could get that early on through this evening before we calm things on down. That generally is expected around 9, 10, 11 o'clock before we clear that radar, but then we have some more rolling into the area. We have some potentially nasty storms coming in and south of the hills. This is a radar model, not an actual radar, so this is a representation of reality. So we could see some of these storms roll through Rapid City itself by 5 p.m. and we're expecting more on Sunday. Slight risk for tomorrow. We could even have an isolated tornado, but the main risks are damaging winds and large hail. 86 for tomorrow. Then we do it all again with lots of moisture in the air, lots more humidity to talk about. Saturday and Sunday, where we have a level 1 out of 5 risk, but I could see that getting updated, because take a look at this right at the end. That's Sunday right there. We still have the same amount of instability as Saturday, but that's a look at your level 1 out of 5. After that, we've got some heat rolling into the area. A large high pressure ridge is going to bring some 90s first to the northeastern Wyoming areas and then into our portions of KOTA territory. You can see that first with that 98 on Thursday. Look at how things heat up in Rapid City, 95 on Wednesday.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. And coming up in sports, the high school fall sports season kicked off today with some boys and girls soccer. And we're a week away from high school football. Noah Miller has that and more in KOTA Sports.
Good evening and welcome to KOTA Sports. Tonight is an important night because it's the start of the 2025 high school sports season. Yeah, football really kicks off next week, but some high school soccer hits the pitch tonight, even one right here in Rapid City. But first, the South Dakota Little League team played in the opening round of the Little League World Series. Sioux Falls Little League got a big win last night in the Little League World Series. They beat Pennsylvania 2-0. Max and Snoozy threw a one-hitter in the shutout, and they will be playing the winner of Fairfield, Connecticut and Honolulu, Hawaii, who plays tonight at 7 p.m. The high school football season starts next week, and then we get to see some amazing talent from around the area. Hill City is a team that should be watched carefully because they went 8-2 last year, and despite losing their quarterback to graduation, they have their guy at QB and open the season up with the same team they did last season. By the way, they won that game by a ton.
We started to change, and that's who our group of seniors are right now, and our graduated, that last group of seniors who graduated, yeah, they just bought in and really trusted our coaches, trusted our coaching, and put in the work, and that's what got us here.
Had a great group around us and made me excel, and it was just all up to them really. And this year we just want to replicate that as less about the individual and more about the group effort, as individual stats really don't mean anything to us.
The high school sports season has officially begun. Boys and girls soccer kicks off tonight. Vermilion is playing right here in Rapid City against St. Thomas More, with STM up 4-0 as we speak. Rapid City Central is going on the road to play O'Gorman at 6 p.m. Douglas is in Watertown. Rapid City Stevens is in Yankton. And then lastly, for the girls' side of things, Spearfish is up in Brookings starting at 6 p.m. Onto the boys' side of the pitch. Spearfish is in the middle of their game versus Brookings. RC Central and O'Gorman get the late start at 8 p.m. after the girls square off. Douglas and Watertown see each other at 7 p.m. at Watertown High School, and RC Stevens is taking on Yankton at 7 p.m. I'll have the final scores of these games later tonight at 10.
Well, we've got our audio figured out at the fair, and we will now take you back to Juliana Alford, who is live at the fairgrounds to talk more about what's happening. Juliana, how's it going out there?
That's right, Jack. As you can see, we're on the Ferris wheel, and this is actually the 80th Central States Fair, one of the biggest fairs west of the Missouri River. As you can see behind me, there's something for everyone. There's food you can try, there's carnivals, of course, and the concert, the derby, and the rodeo. Hundreds of thousands of visitors and locals are expected to make their way down here for the 80th Central States Fair. Now, this event runs all the way until the 23rd, so until next Saturday. Again, the hours did change for the carnival, so Monday through Thursday, the carnival will be open from 3 p.m. to midnight. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the carnival will run from noon to midnight. Again, hundreds of thousands of people are expected. We got here at a good time, actually. It's opening day. There's a few people here, and looks like the clouds actually have covered up the sun, so it's a pretty good time to come. And looks like we're at the top, so you can see all of it, everything in the carnival. All right, Jack, we're gonna hop on some more rides. Back to you.
All right, she's very brave out there.
Yeah.
What's coming for weather tonight?
She mentioned those clouds. We've got those storms that are making their way through the hills right now. We're going to see them clear out of the area, but then we have more for us. So stay tuned. Go over to the 6. We'll be tracking more on those storms, but after these storms, it's going to be an active weekend, folks. Some of these are severe. We're looking at 90s as we get in the middle of next week.
All right, thank you very much, Ryan. That'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you tonight at 10.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.